Teaching and research are kind of the two halves of my job.
DreamWakers is a nonprofit organization that utilizes free video chat services to bring diverse and dynamic speakers into high-need public school classrooms across the U.S. We spend a lot of time matching speakers with the proper classrooms, making sure that it's very relevant to what the students are learning about. We can match a speaker from the hometown, racial, ethnic background, any sort of thing that we can have a connection with the students makes the flash chat so much more powerful.
Can everybody please send Mr. Smithshine for speaking to us today?
That's the coolest thing. You said you shines right back.
It's so important for these kids to see and understand success that looks like that. If he made it, I can make it. And once that possibility is opened up, you can fly.
The speaker will give a brief overview of what they're doing, why they're really inspired, challenges that they overcame, and then the remaining time is used for the kids to ask questions.
Coming from a girl who lives in Harlem, how do you think your background affects your success now?
People have really powerful stories to tell, and you have no idea what it means to any one person.
It makes me feel like I'm capable. It makes me feel like inspired.
We tell our kids constantly that they can do and be anything that they want to be with hard work, and to actually see that embodied in somebody who looks like them, is from their neighborhood, is just incredibly powerful.
The name DreamWakers is based on an Aristotle quote, which is that hope is a waking dream. It succinctly encapsulates what we want to do, which is inspire a generation of students to believe in themselves and to ignite this future vision in them.
Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Sasay. I'm an anchor correspondent with CNN. I'm also the founder of a nonprofit organization called We Can Lead. It is such a pleasure to be here with you on this day and to introduce you to some fierce women doing some phenomenal things. I would like to start by introducing the two women behind the wonderful organization DreamWakers, who are helping children dream big right around the country. In the middle is Monica Gray and her co-founder, Annie Medaglia. And I also want to welcome the woman close to me, Ganiat Rufai. She is the principal of the Dr. E. Alma Flagg School in Newark, New Jersey. There's some kids in the house. I think we can all hear them. Welcome to you all. Thank you. Now, let me start with you, Monica. Let me ask you about the idea for DreamWakers. It is such a simple and fantastic idea of connecting children with incredible role models. Where did the idea come from?
Sure. So Annie and I were just grabbing pizza one night back in 2013, and we were just saying how we were feeling frustrated with the lack of volunteer opportunities, particularly opportunities to volunteer in school while students were actually in the classroom. And we felt like our hands were kind of tied in terms of our ability to be able to give back given our 9-to-5 jobs. And while we were having this conversation, we looked down and our cell phones were just sitting on the table there. We thought, wait a minute, we could probably use the same technology that we use to FaceTime or Skype or Google Hangout with friends and family across the country to reach classrooms. There must be a program that exists. And we looked into it, and it didn't. It didn't exist in the way that we envisioned it. And so in that moment, the seeds of DreamWakers were really planted.
Which is awesome. And Annie, tell us about the companies and the professions that are being represented. I understand you guys have a waiting list.
Yeah, so exposure for us is really huge. There are a lot of stats out there about how businesses don't feel like there's enough involvement between private sector and education, and 65% of the careers that are going to exist tomorrow when these students go into them don't even exist now. And so we wanted to bring in lots of different companies into the classroom so that students could see themselves in these people. So some of the organizations are the White House, State Department, Microsoft, Google, Orvis, JetBlue, there's so many of them. And our speakers come from all different types of backgrounds. So we have a really high percentage number of individuals coming from these companies that are first-generation college students or first or second-generation immigrants. Or we have a great number of folks from all areas of the US, urban, rural backgrounds, all different types of races and socioeconomic backgrounds. So we really try to exhibit all types of people in these careers.
It's great work you're doing. And to Ganya now, who's also inspiring kids every single day, I understand DreamWakers came to your school and they hosted a chat with your civic students and a top Obama aide, David Seamus. Tell us about that.
So we've hosted DreamWakers 3 times, it's safe to say at this point. I lead a K-8 in Newark, New Jersey with approximately 550 students. The 7th graders are actually here today, along with their teacher.
I think they're over there.
Along with their teacher, Mr. Ojekere, who is very creatively bridging the gap that exists, obviously. And 50% of my students comprise of, or are coming from, rather, African-American backgrounds, and the other 50% are from Hispanic heritage backgrounds. Having said that, in an urban area, they don't always have the opportunity to interface with role models that look like them on a consistent basis. With that being stated, Mr. Seamus, who identifies very closely with them, he himself having come from a Hispanic heritage background, was able to relate to the students. They wrote him letters. They're actually awaiting their trip to the White House to visit
So they're going to meet him.
They are. They're scheduled to meet him.
That's very
And it ignites a sense of possibility for our students. It reminds them that they're able to accomplish their goals just as their mentors, their virtual mentors has, and it keeps the conversation going about why it's important to give back to your community.
Yeah, it's great. Monica, Annie, I know that you had conversations with students after you do these flash chats, reflection moments, if you will. Tell me some of the things you've learned and the impact you're having.
Oh gosh, so yeah, we host these flash chat reflection times afterwards, and we hear so many inspirational stories. One that comes to mind is a woman who runs a business of language podcast, and she connected with a classroom in rural Virginia, and after that chat, the student came up and said, or one of the students came up and said, you know, she really wanted to pursue a study abroad program in high school, and nobody had even known that it existed in that high school previously. We have lots of follow-up activities where speakers, it's kind of become a trend now where speakers follow up in different ways, whether inviting the students on a field trip, just offering their email, offering to be a resource, and so those are really special.
And a lot of the common themes are from the students, like we didn't know that this type of job existed. We didn't know that somebody who looks like me or comes from my type of town can be in this type of position. We didn't know that our teachers cared as much about us, that they would do this. We didn't know that you could have multiple different careers, and so we get a lot of feedback from teachers afterwards, even like 3 months later, saying, hey, this is still impacting the students.
And I would,
go ahead.
Sorry, I would just add, like for additional context, the reason that we feel it's really important to bring to life these lessons is there's some kind of bleak facts out there about the state of current public education. You know, 7,000 students are dropping out of high school every single year in the US. That comes out to a student every 26 seconds. And suspension rates have more than doubled over the past 4 decades. And so we feel that it's really important to start reaching students at an earlier age to expose them to careers and inspirational role models and leaders who look like them, to kind of give them hope and future vision. And so that's why we're working hard to connect like coders in Silicon Valley with 4th graders in Newark, or civics classes with White House political directors.
And the reality is we are currently in an era of high-stakes testing in America, and it's our reality. However, we're not always taking into consideration the importance of educating the entire child, and that's what DreamWakers does. It makes sure that we're catering to their social, emotional needs.
Yeah. And just to follow up on that, I mean, for those who might be sitting out there and saying, well, it's just it's a moment where they speak to someone and it has no real lasting impact. You're saying that's not the case. These meetings can have a profound down-the-line impact on these kids.
Absolutely. If we all reflect on our experiences growing up, we could all remember a mentor that said something to us that ignited a passion in us that was suppressed prior to, right? So the reality is, though it's a quick, convenient way to interface with students, it does leave a lasting impression on them. My students have written letters. They've came to me personally and talked about how this has changed their goals for the future. Our motto at Flag is that our students are respectful, responsible, and ready, and I appreciate the opportunity that DreamWakers has brought to ensuring that our students are actually ready.
It's fantastic. Monica, you do this full-time. You are full-time CEO of DreamWakers. First of all, tell me your goals for the organization going forward, share them with the audience here, and where you want this organization to be 3 years from now.
Sure. So we launched in 2014, and today we're in over 50 communities, reach thousands of students. Our goals looking forward are to be in all 50 states, and we want to be a resource for particularly low-income schools that are 75 to 100% free and reduced lunch to have a platform where any teacher can just hop online and book an exceptional speaker to shed light on the real-world applicability of what their class is learning. We also are beginning a new program in the fall where we'll be bringing on corporate partners. So if there's anybody in the audience who's interested in sponsoring a week of flash chats, our hope is to kind of show the breadth and depth of careers that are out there for any number of professions. And then finally, a lot of people in the audience probably won't be too surprised to know we actually receive way more applications from men than women to be speakers. So all you women out there, please sign up to be a speaker. We would love to have you. DreamWakers.org if you're interested.
Awesome. And that brings us to the end, but let me say congratulations for all the great work you're doing, and Ganyat as well for inspiring kids every day. Monica, Annie, and Ganyat, thank you for joining us and sharing the terrific work.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to bring out another mother of invention, 2016 mother of invention, Maria Della Pina, as well as the senior engineer with Toyota, Jacqueline Birdsall, to help us celebrate all these amazing women.
Thank you, Aisha. And thank you, Tina and Women in the World, for being such amazing partners. The past few days have been extraordinarily moving for me. Innovation. Innovation is defined as a new idea, device, or method, synonymous with creativity, originality, ingenuity, and inspiration. At Toyota, we see innovation as a way to ensure a successful future, whether alternative energy sources, interconnected traffic and safety systems, human-assisting robots, or new modes of personal transportation and mobility. So you may ask, why has Toyota partnered with Women in the World for a 5th consecutive year? And the answer is simple: innovation. The Toyota mothers of invention are trailblazers, entrepreneurs, pioneers, leaders, and most of all, innovators. They are determined individuals, and I'd like to recognize each of them for believing in themselves and their ideas, for being courageous, and for persevering no matter the obstacle. Maria Della Pina. Maria Della Pina, founder of Specs for Us. You were inspired by your daughter Erin with Down syndrome to design glasses for people with unique facial features. You fought for your daughter's ability to see, and in turn have opened the eyes of the world and improved the sight of so many in need. This determination won you the recognition of your peers who nominated you after last year's summit to be named a Toyota Mother of Invention. Komal Ahmad, founder of Copia, who is not able to be here, is tackling the issue of food waste head-on by connecting business with excess food to nearby shelters and low-income communities in real time. She believes that it is not a hunger issue, but a distribution issue, and is making strides to ensure that no one goes hungry again. Monica Gray and Annie Medaglia, co-founders of DreamWakers. You are giving children the chance to connect with real-life role models using video technology. You're giving kids the opportunity to meet dynamic leaders in different industries, enriching their lives and encouraging them to dream bigger. It is my privilege to share this stage with all of you. This year, we were delighted to present Maria, Komal, Monica, and Annie with a Toyota Driving Solutions grant for $50,000 at Women in the World Salon events in San Antonio, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. Toyota is committed to supporting, inspiring, and celebrating women to help them go places. We are relentlessly looking ahead to the future for things that are inspiring tomorrow, things that are beyond possible. We believe in emerging trends that are impacting our future and our world, and those who strive to make the impossible possible. Since 2012, Toyota has honored 16 innovative and courageous mothers of invention, and they include Uncharted Play, which harnesses energy in soccer balls; Lava May and Cardborigami, which provide mobile showers and temporary shelter to homeless; DC Greens, which brings fresh produce to urban families; English at Work, which offers English language lessons in the workplace; Luminade and Day One Response, which provide light and clean water to post-disaster zones; Click Medics, which uses technology to expand access to healthcare; and Fresh Paper, which found an innovative way to prevent food spoilage. Let's have a look.
Where would we be without innovators and inventors? It's so unique to be able to fulfill a need in that way.
You can be inspired by anyone.
If you give back, you get back.
I've seen the impact on a daily basis. Miracle, transformation, enlightenment, confidence. There's nothing greater than giving the service of changing people's lives. I see magic, I see a blessing, I see innovation, and I see gratitude.
Miley's given us an avenue to empower our staff.
She took teaching language into their workplace.
My goal is 100% speak English. Now I can do help my children for their homework.
Growing up in this community, I've never seen anyone even talk about organic produce. When I first tasted my first bell pepper, it was like the most delicious thing I could have ever tasted, and it was all made possible by DC Greens.
There are 24 million people in Ghana, and maybe 5 to 10 dermatologists. Click Medics can bring dermatologic services to the masses. There was a local physician who was so happy to have the availability of this technology. It's priceless.
Cardborigami was my first job I ever had. The experience was amazing, and it's awesome just knowing that I'm helping someone.
I feel refreshed when I go to Lava May because I went filthy to Lava May. Now I'm clean.
The Aaron's World frames that Maria created are absolutely essential for the Down syndrome community. I see how much they have helped my daughter. The physical therapist actually said to me, her balance is so much better.
I really, really appreciate DreamWakers bringing that instant inspiration right into the classroom.
There's no better way to show your kids their dreams are possible than to have somebody come in and communicate with them directly.
Copia is a company that actually helps us take away our excess meals.
It's a way to get really great food to the homeless.
I want my daughter to never know what it's like to be hungry. I never want her to know that feeling. I just want to thank Copia for their work. It's going beyond where they think it's going.
My name is Maria Delapina.
Monica Gray.
Annie Medaglia.
Komal
Ahmed.
Miley Moline.
Jessica O. Matthews.
Julia Silverman.
Talia Amon. Lauren Schwader-Beal.
Zenith Andrews.
Sonis Sanpal.
Kavita Shukla.
Trisha Compass Markman.
Sejal Hathi.
Tara Roberts.
Katria O'Neill.
Morgan O'Neill.
Tina Hoopsapien.
Ting Shi. Anna Stork.
Andrea Shrestha.
And I am so proud, honored, and humbled to be a Toyota Mother of Invention.
Unbelievable, right? 16 women-led organizations that have touched more than 160 million people in over 160 countries. Please, let's give all of the Toyota Mothers of Invention here on stage and in the audience another round of applause.